For the crime, wherever the hideout, the Nigeria police force will get you busted. Stop kidnapping, armed robbery, murder, pipeline vandalism, and other criminal activities. Be productive. Be security conscious. Join the police force to secure your life and property. This message is from the Nigeria Police Force Public Relations Department.
In Nigeria, there is one sound we need to silence. So let's silence toothache before it starts with Oral-B all-round protection. Its advanced technology helps prevent both tooth holes and gum problems that can lead to tooth loss. It strengthens your teeth, giving them all-round protection. Because the only sound we really want to hear is that of our future. For healthier, stronger teeth in 1 week.
Well, when I was growing up, it wasn't an easy thing for us because my parents were struggling. That's why when I started playing basketball, I need to play, I need to struggle, I need to achieve. I want to make something out of it. I graduated from the Milo Secondary School games to the senior league. Then they called me that I should come and play Junior World Cup qualifiers. Following here, I was invited to the senior national team. I've been awarded as the most valuable player 5 times. My teammates, they made it possible. Basketball, it gave me the opportunity to have my own basketball camp, giving back to the society. Because you know what you've passed through. I need to show the kids that basketball really changed my life. My name is Nkechi, and this is our journey.
Nestle, good food, good life.
Win a trip to Dubai in the 2018 3 Crowns Mom of the Year promo. Visit www.femininelounge.com/competition to find out more.
3 Crowns Milk. Healthy moms, happy families.
Kehinde suffers from indigestion. His twin Taiyi suffers from heartburn. Sometimes it's the other way around, or both. That's why they use Gaviscon Double Action. It soothes within 3 minutes and lasts for up to 4 hours. For double relief from heartburn and indigestion, Gaviscon Double Action.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the daring and invincible Louis the Mosquito. Responsible for 200 malaria cases all on its own. Is there anything that can kill Louis? Morphine! Presenting Morty's Power Guard. Its powerful formula kills malaria mosquitoes fast. So, get Morty's Power Guard.
Thank you for staying with us. Chimaobi Walter Naji has some business stories for us. He tells us of the resumption of the supervising minister at the Ministry of Finance, Zainab Ahmed. Let's join him for these and more.
Supervising Minister, Ministry of Finance, Zainab Ahmed resumed Monday morning after the presidency announced her appointment on Friday. The minister arrived at the premises to a rousing welcome by the unions. She immediately addressed management staff and media. Top on her priority list are economic stability and revenue challenges.
These are very challenging times for our country. So it means we are part of the economic team that has been charged with making sure that there's economic stability in our country. We have very serious revenue challenges, and it is up to us to make sure we show up the revenues of this country. Mr. President has a lot of confidence that we can do this very well together.
Zainab Ahmed resumes office following the resignation of Kemi Adelson, the former Minister of Finance. Meanwhile, the equities market closed lower to begin the week as sell-off persists, with the Nigerian Stock Exchange All-Share Index shedding further by 0.39% to close at 34,618.43 basis points. The financial services industry topped the trade chart by volume. Silicon led the gainers by 8.62%, while the losers table was led by Champion, Red Star X, and Royal X. Here is a graphic representation of the closing figures on the floor of the exchange. That's business news for now. I'm Chimobi Walter Naji.
Thank you indeed, Chimobi, for that update on business. Now, newspaper review is next on Good Morning Nigeria.
Our newspaper reviewer, Bayo Atoyibi, is in the house. Good morning, Bayo. It's always good to see you.
Thank you, Joy. Good morning. Good morning,
All right, Bayo, you're welcome to the Tuesday's edition of the program. Now, let's begin with the Nigerian pilot. The Nigerian pilot has a number of stories here, but the major one is political. So let's go straight to the main headline of the Nigerian pilot. Electoral bill, National Assembly packages, that's 4 riders now to that headline. National Assembly packages 4th version for Buhari's ascent. Regrets 3 failed attempts to get presidential approval. Threatens to veto him if he declines a 4th time. Says move is to ensure hitch-free polls in 2019. The story is on page 4. But just below the nameplate of the Nigerian pilot, we have INEC launches application to curb vote buying. That's on page 9. And then women protest arrest detention of priests, children in Enugu. That's on page 43. And now below the photograph of the Nigerian pilot, flood kills 31, destroys 10,000 houses worth 5 billion naira in Kano. And on the foot of the Nigerian pilot, we have other stories there. 58th Independence, NAF commences aerial display in Abuja. Well, of course, a short while ago, Joy was talking about the aircraft, in Abuja, hovering around Abuja yesterday.
People, yesterday, and I was wondering what was happening. Yeah, we just heard a loud sound.
Exactly, and people panicked in some areas.
Yes.
All right, you now know that it's an area display in Abuja. All right. Now, 2 Evans gang members jailed for 20 years for robbery and kidnapping. Of course, you know the story of Evans, the master kidnapper. 2 of his men now jailed. The story is on page 5. Now, of a robbery, IGP Saraki began battle in court October 3. Now, court strikes out a case against a journalist known as Jones Abiri. Maybe in the course of this bio will tell us more.
All right, let's look at the lead story from the front page of the Punch newspaper. It comes with a kicker. 2019 PDP panel grills Atiku, Saraki, McCarthy, others Thursday, and it has a rider. Party searches for Buhari's march in the north. Let's see what you have as the lead story in the other paper.
Yes, the leadership newspaper, actually. Let's take the main headline. Court stops expert order on all political cases. And with 3 riders there, sets October deadline for pre-election matters. National Assembly revisits electoral amendment bill, and Niger Delta militants endorse President Muhammadu Buhari for 2nd term. That's on page 4.
Let's say for now.
The case of the moment, flood. There's still flood alarm around the country, and all of us across the country must be alert. The latest is about 31 persons that have been killed, unfortunately, in Kano. 10,000 homes have been inundated and destroyed. This morning, the weather report was indicating that Abuja and surrounding states covering Plateau, Nasarawa, Benue, Niger, Kaduna, there's going to be rain this afternoon and heavy rain in some instances. It means that the trough of the Niger Benue is still going to be inundated with more water, and therefore the alarm for flood still must be on the highest position of red alert. Let me quickly go to the issue of the alarm that was raised. The Nigerian Air Force says that residents of Jikoi, Nyanya, Karu should not be alarmed about low-flying aircraft. There's no cause for alarm. There are rehearsals by the Nigerian Air Force in preparation for the 58th Independent Anniversary celebration, which is coming on 1st October. Usually, it's part of the celebration. The Air Force usually have this air display, and they are only practicing. And so the director of Nigeria Air Force Public Relations, Commodore Ibukule Daramola says that there's no cause for alarm and people should not panic. The other story that you read is about also they are not to grant ex parte order in any political case before the court, adding that all political cases can be reduced when the court decides after hearing all parties that are involved. He all commended judges and all staff of the Federal High Court, but emphasized that they must be very vigilant, especially in cases of political parties, particularly with the coming election. The other case in the court is also an Abuja area court at Lugbe has ordered the Inspector General of Police to serve a summons on Dr. Bukola Saraki to compel him to face criminal complaints. This is in a suit that was brought by a private lawyer over the bloody of a bank robbery which happened 5th of April 2018. The complaint was filed by one Oluwatosin Ojaoma and is initiated under Section 89, subsection 5 of the Administration of Criminal Justice. He is demanding that the criminal complaint states that the alleged refusal to honor invitation to answer allegations involving investigation is regarding suspect of a bank robbery amount to obstruction of criminal investigation. This conduct, according to the complainant, is punishable under Section 136 and 149 of the Penal Code. It may be recalled that Dr. Bukola Saraki was invited, and the police later on actually acceded and visited his office to interview him in regards of that investigation. Those are the facts of the case. But the hearing is now fixed for the October 10th.
Okay, but let me take you back to the issue of dispensing justice in good time, especially with respect to political matters that are in courts. Well, we've had it in this country that a situation where cases last as long as a matter of fact, there are some cases that were dispensed after perhaps the opposition person has been in office for nearly 3 years.
They even end their tenure.
They have some end their tenure and still get judgment. So one wonders what that kind of judgment is going to serve if it comes late. But with what the Chief Judge has just said, well, ours is, how are they going to adhere to that? That's important. Is there any period of time specified to handle a particular case?
Well, I agree with you in the sense that that is the expectation. You recall that he said giving a deadline of October for political cases, and these are cases that started as far back as 2015. Ensuing from the election, the last general election, and we're already at the doorstep 150 days to another general election. So I think it's in that spirit, and also to enforce the administration of criminal prosecution, the law that states procedures for criminal trial. Also, I think there's been an attempt, even at the electoral amendment bill, that they are trying to put time specific about handling some political cases. And that reminds me of the issue that we read about the 4th electoral amendment that has been sent to the Mr. President for his assent. You will recall that in the 3 instances that he had withheld his assent, the indications he made and the reasons he gave for withholding his assent has been seen by the National Assembly, so much so that for the 3rd time they have had to look at it. So it depends upon the objections raised. If they are not genuine, then they can use their majority to override the withhold of assets.
All right, let's go back to the papers quickly to see some other stories making the headlines. Back to the Punch newspaper. At the top of the nameplate, Benue Court receives 19,412 cases in 1 legal year. That's what Bayo was talking about shortly. And below that, Adeosun's resignation. Ahmed resumes at Finance Ministry. Details are on page 28. Beside that, Osun poll. INEC bans mobile phones, cameras at polling booths. And beside that, Offa robberies court summons Saraki over fresh criminal complaints. And let's go quickly beside the nameplate. Stolen jets will meet top brass in court, says NCAA. Nigeria loses 355 billion naira annually to poor sanitation. That comment is attributed to UNICEF. And below is a picture story of a cross-section of judges of the Federal High Court during the 2018 special legal year court session. And beside it are a couple of stories. Panic in Abuja as military fighter jets fly over houses. Boko Haram kills nurses, threatens to murder Leah Sharibu, and Ambode alludes to Tinubu's power at book launch.
All right, just before Bayo comes in to wrap up this segment, below the photograph on the leadership newspaper, we have Oshu poll will be credible, says INEC, and of course IGP is on page 8. 31 killed, 10,000 houses destroyed in kind of flood on page 2. Niger signed MOU to curtail activities of Boko Haram. That's on page 2. Bayo.
All right, let's take our editorial quickly before Bayo will wrap up. Our editorial for today is taken from the Guardian newspaper and is captioned, Federalism, Another Point for State Police. The recurrent issue of federalism within the contextual discussion of restructuring has become a metaphor for curious failure of state actors to do the right thing about nation building at the right time. The issue of police to its logical conclusion is one of the low-hanging fruits of the federalist principle. That is why a recent presidential committee on decentralization of police operations should not be disbanded because the vice president set it up while he was acting as president. That should be the starting point of restoration of confidence in the ruling party's idea of true federalism.
Our house must go out to a midwife, Seifura Hussein Ahmed Kusa, abducted along with 2 of her colleagues who has been murdered by the Boko Haram. She and 2 other colleagues were providing antenatal care for communities, particularly in the IKDB camps when they were abducted in March. The head of the International Committee of the Red Cross delegation in Abuja expressed deep regret about how they are devastated about the murder of the woman. President Muhammadu Buhari has also condemned the gruesome murder and has also appealed to persons who have links with the insurgents to please prevail upon them to release the persons in their custody, among who is Leah Sharibu. Meanwhile, the Independent National Electoral Commission has taken bold steps to stem out what he has described as the menace of vote buying. And therefore, when you have to vote, starting with Osun election, there is a ban for effective use of telephone and photographic equipment, particularly the point a voter collects a ballot box, up to the point he is to mark them in the polling booth, and up to the point he comes out to drop it in the ballot box. This is to stem the menace of people taking the photograph of who they voted for, and after leaving the polling booth, showing it to some political contractors who are signing outside to give them money. Also, 63 political parties have notified INEC about their intention to contest the presidential election. Now to come to the editorial. Editorial is about federalism. Federalism has several factions. There's federalism in the United States, there's federalism in Australia, there's federalism in Canada. Our own federalism is supposed to be an imitation of what obtains in America, but it's a mixed match of a presidential system and our parliamentary system that we had in the 1960s. And that is why you hear even members of the National Assembly stand up in the National Assembly that the Constitution addresses and recognizes at the National Assembly and say this parliament will not do this or do that. However, the issue of the state police has been one of the contentions. Others are resource control, others are physical federalism, and others are creating of more states and local government. All these are political contentions. You will recall that the All Progressive Congress had actually indicated that they are going to pursue what they describe as true federalism. And that has been come on the forefront because of the 2019 election. But talking about police specifically, the argument is that the constabulary authority of the police that resides at the office of the IGP should be dispersed to the state level. Again, some argue that this is political. Others express the fears that if this is done, it will be abused at the state level. And others are also contending that presently it is being abused at the federal level. However, the location of constabulary authority and the independence of police to arrest, investigate, and prosecute whoever violates a law should be sacrosanct, and that is when, and it's no respecter of anybody, whether it is located at the federal
or state level. But there is also another argument that says, well, if we have a state police, it will properly check the incidence of crimes in different states of the federation, because the policemen and women in such state are from the state, and they know the nooks and crannies of such communities, and they can man them properly. And then again, from the federal level, we could have a central police, like folks in America, they have a central police, we also have state police, and when an offense is of national dimension, the central police will go and effect arrest. So
there's some fallacy in what we are saying. Fallacy in the sense that here in Nigeria, it has been tried. Some years back, they had lower ranks of police deployed to their local government, to their state of origin. The police had to think twice about it because of the kind of responses they were getting.
But they were controlled from the headquarters. That's the point. If they are controlled in the state, within the state, there's a possibility of being more effective than when they're in their localities and being controlled from the center. That's the argument from another quarter.
All right, Kiran, I think that's the much we can take on paper review this morning. We'll take a short break now. When we return, we'll focus on flooding and climate change. Stay with us.
Hate speech is not a joke. It incites genocide and crimes against humanity. Most of Africa's civil wars are caused by hate speech from one tribe against another. We don't want it here. The Nigerian government stands firm against hate speech.
Under no conditions whatsoever should we tolerate or excuse or justify hate speech or hateful conduct of any kind, especially where such is illegal.
There's no doubt that the resurgent push for separatism, as well as the rising cases of ethnic and religious disharmony, are all traceable to the growing phenomenon of hate speech.
One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous, whether you do it for fun or for political gains. Real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA.
Your perfect family is under threat by germs. Infectious diseases are now the world's biggest killer of adults and children. Every day, 16,000 children under the ages of 5 and thousands of adults die from infectious diseases. These infectious diseases are caused by germs. They are everywhere. An average human being comes in contact with over 1 million germs daily in unclean water, dirty surfaces, in the toilets, on cuts and wounds, on your clothes. Germs can cause deadly diseases like typhoid, diarrhea, flu, and cough. To protect your family from germs, use the power of Dettol's One Cup.
Craft under the tagged name National Children's Expo. We are set with another edition as we gather children around Nigeria. Junior category ages 6 to 12 and senior category ages 13 to 18. The theme for Expo 2018, achieving self-sufficiency in agriculture, meeting the challenges of security and exposition of alternative energy as pathways to national development. Date, October 21st to 25th, 2018. Venue, NTA Headquarters Arena, Area 11, Garki, Abuja. We are set to celebrate the best of innovation across the country. For more information, please call the following numbers. NTA ETV, promoting learning.
Whenever pain occurs, you want quick relief. Try new Nurofen Express. It goes to the source of pain and gets to work in under 15 minutes. That's why Nurofen Express delivers fast and effective relief. New Nurofen Express works at the source of pain.
fast.
Being a mom is great, but when your child has a fever, you don't know what to do. I trust Nurofen for Children to take care of my child's pain and fever.
Effective relief you can trust.